Alright, time to finish this off. I figured out what was wrong with the GET request. I'm not really sure why it's wrong, because this worked when I did it myself. But what's wrong is actually that this is no longer undefined. So something with this has changed, and I can't really figure out why it has, but it's no longer undefined. These ones are strings. Well, they are actually empty strings, so technically they're null, but they're not undefined. So I'm actually going to do this. Get all these ones. Oops. Let's do that. So get rid of that. And let's get rid of the word undefined. So if any of these are an empty string, then it's not working the way we want to. I can't still get all of the issues, which is kind of what I wanted anyway. I think that when I did this, I actually moved this part as well, so I'm going to do that before we move over to the test, because we have a part over here, there. Which is called JSON result, and that's where our Ajax call here is putting all of the data. So if we move that to, let's say, C, is this a, that's that one, let's put it here, I think. So maybe that's kind of what I say, that you should have a look at what the Ajax calls do, so that you have an idea of it. So if I press this now, you can see that we moved this over here, which is a bit better. Anyway, that's not what we were going to do. What we are actually going to do in this part of the video is that we're gonna skip this. We're gonna go into this part. We should write 11 functional tests, it says, and they should be complete and they should be passing. And to do that, we can start off with doing that, obviously. Let's start with that. Change this const. So, and we actually need one more here. We need a const object ID. So, it's require MongoDB.objectID, and that's, we use that in the API file, but to be able to test for it, we actually need to import it here as well. And then we can say that we have some stuff filled in here, like in the last project. We don't have everything, and this one is actually not complete either. But if we start with this, we cancel that application, clear that, and we go for an npm test just to have a look at what's happening here. We can see that we have actually that one works. This test works fully, sort of, and that's because they've actually put a done here, and they assert equal to 100. So this test is only asserting that we get a correct status code, which doesn't tell us a lot. But every other test fails, I think. Right, I may have to do that though. Do we have that there? I have a console log that I don't know what I have here. OPS, there, yeah, that one. Don't want that. So all of this stuff that I got here is from that console log, which is why I wanted to get rid of it. Anyway, so in here we have to add some stuff. So it says here, feeling me too, and that's essentially what we need to do. So first off, we're actually going to do some stuff outside of this. So inside of the test suite, but outside of all of the tests, we're going to have a let update ID and a let delete ID. and that's to be able to create, update, and delete the same post, because these are going to be written into the database. We're gonna have to look so we didn't get one there. Yeah, we did. So this test, this entry here is actually written by the test that we have running here. So one of these, this one creates a test entry into our database, which means that as long as we haven't actually written all of these tests, or rather, as long as we have this but no delete test, we actually have to manually delete this. Because otherwise it's going to try to write something that doesn't actually work to write, because there's something there already with this title. So in here, when I start equal that, it's not that necessary, because if we don't get a status code okay, then nothing else works anyway, so whatever. But we'll go for an assert.equal here, and we'll assert that rest.body.issue title is title. So we just have to look at that. And the same way we do assert.equal rest.body.issue text, and issue text should be text. And we can see that assert.equal of rest.body.createdBy should be, I'm actually going to be lazy and copy this even. So, and then we have assert.equal rest.body.assign2, and there we can see that it should say Chai Mocha. So comma Chai Mocha, and we're gonna have an assert.equal rest.body.status text in QA. So we'll delete that, and then we're actually going to do this, because this is where we post something, right? We create this issue here. So what we're going to do here is that when we create something, if we do it manually, we'll get an ID back, and we'll save that in this delete ID. So we'll do delete ID is rest.body._ID, which is our response. We get a lot of stuff in rest.body, and one of those things is an ID, which we can't really check for an equal there, because we don't have anything to check for, but we can save it so that later on, when we want to delete this, we can do that. So that's the first test, and we could run that, but yeah, let's run the first one. I don't want to run each test individually, but let's do the first one, just to show, because we can see that this one is actually passing now. All of these equals are passing, but we'll also get a new entry in the database that we need to take care of. So we'll do a refresh here, and we'll go down to the bottom and delete that one. So then we should have a test that checks for required fields filled in, and this one we'll actually just do there, and then we do Chai.request with request server, and we'll have a post request here to /API/issues/test, and we'll send data where we have issue title, and the issue title should be required title. This is my great imagination, so I wrote that. We'll have an issue text, which is going to be required text, and we'll have a created by required fields filled in. So, and then we'll have .end, and we can go rs, and in there we'll have our assertions. So assert.equal, and we'll just start with rest.status, should be 200, should be okay, that means. And then we have assert.equal rest.body.issue title is required title. Assert.equal of rest.body.issue text should be required text. Actually, like that. And this is going to be case sensitive, so we need to do that. Assert.equal of rest.body.created by should be required fields filled in. And here we can actually save update ID. Just like we saved delete ID there, this is going to be able to save an update ID as well, which is going to be a rest.body._id. And the reason we do this is because this and this are going to be two different posts. So we could sort these tests in a way so that we can update this one and delete it. But it's easier to update this post and delete this post. Kind of. It's a lot more convenient, however, to delete all of these once we've created them, because we actually don't want to store them in the database, because that's just pointless to store test data in the database. We also need to finish off with done here, because that's how Chai.js works. We need to have done to tell it that the test is done. And then we have this one as well, missing required fields. We have a Chai.request server, and there we'll go for a.post, and we'll post to /API/issues/test, and we'll send data, and here we'll go assign to Chai and Mocha. And the reason we do assign to is because that's an optional field, so it doesn't matter at all whether it's filled in or not, but the ones we have here should be filled in and they won't be. So here we will write .end, and then we can do rest and let's see, rs. So and here we do assert.equal. The status code should still be okay, because the actual test itself is working, it's running like it should be, but it should fail. So the status code should not fail, but the rest of the test should fail. So assert.equal rest of text, no updated field sent. And then we'll do a done. So then we can move on to this one. This is, as we see here, this is how you describe the test really, or the test suite. So all of these are to do with the put or the update. So in here we can go for a nobody here. I think. Wait. Oh, right. I probably moved that. Yeah, right. I did this. I actually moved this when I did this, so I got it in another order. So what I did really is that because we're working with CRUD, I moved this. So we have C, create, and then we have the get, or the read, and the update, and the delete. So in here, in the get part, where are we? There. Here we want to do some stuff. So I went ahead and did a kind of if thing. You shouldn't do this, but I did it. And so what I did is essentially I took an entry here, this one actually, that I have in the database, and then I checked that it actually exists. What you should do is essentially that you should use a post request here instead and create a post with all this data that you know exists and stuff, so that you can check for a post that's temporary. Because if I were to delete this one, then yeah, then I can't really do, yeah, then this test will fail. Is what I say. So we'll do a query here. So we'll query for issue title, which is destroy cartridge, and we'll have open is true, and we'll also have created by Cato the Elder. So, and then in here we'll have assert. Now they have a lot of assert property. I'm not actually using that. So we'll do, let's see. So this assert dot equal, and then I'm actually going to do this as well. So issue title destroy cartridge must be destroyed. Created on 2019 1103. I suspect that this may actually fail because my other GET requests seem to fail. I'm not sure though. Status test, origin, and the ID. Again, this ID should be something that you store temporarily there, but I can actually use this one because I did it this way. And I think it's okay to do it this way in these projects, right? Because we're learning. But if you do it in the real world, you don't want to do it this way, because then you're setting yourself up to fail if you do it like this, since you rely on a single entry in the database to keep existing, and there is no guarantee for that. So with one filter, I should be able to do something as well. And oh, wait. Wait, we'll do this. Never mind. Right. So, and let's go back. I was looking at the wrong post. Let's see. Where are we? We're there. We don't want to do that. We want that. So good. Actually want to put that there. So, and because of that, we can actually go ahead and do this. Chai.request server and .get /API/issue/test. So .query.end looks right. Alright. So we should do this one first. This is for multiple filters, obviously. That's why we have all of these filled in. For this one, it's for no filter. So there we should have a query still. And here we just use the ID of delete ID or the update ID. It doesn't really matter, but I'm using the delete ID there. And that's pretty much it. If you query for an ID, that's all you need. And on the one filter, we want to have a Chai.request server. And here we want to have a .get /API/issues/text. And then we'll go for .query, obviously, and we'll query for issue title of title. And we'll go for a .end res, and then we'll go assert I think I can be a bit quick now. Okay, never mind. Let's just do it the way, right? Assert of equal rest of status 200, and then we'll have assert of equal rest of body 0 dot issue. I could probably try to figure out if I can do this faster by just copy pasting. I think I can. Let's do this actually. Let's do that. So let's go for which ones do I need? Oops. So let's just do that that. So the issue title should be title. The issue text should be text. Created on should be right, we shouldn't have that. So created on, updated on, can delete. Created by should be functional test. Every field filled in. Assigned to should be Chai and Mocha. Then we have open is true. Status text is in QA. And ID. Right. We should change this one. This one should be equal. The last one should be property, because we want to assert that we have an ID here. We don't really care a lot about what the ID is, but we want to have an ID there. So we should have 5 tests left then to write. So we have test nobody. So Chai.request server dot put API/issues/test. Just gonna do this actually because we're gonna need it later. And dot send, and if we just put an empty object there, we have no body in it. And then we do dot end rs assert dot equal. We should still have a status code that's correct. It shouldn't fail still. We should also have a assert dot equal of rest of text. That's just gonna be could not update undefined. I think. I probably have. I just realized that I wrote with capital letters in my code. I need to do that here as well. I hope nothing else fails there. And then we need to call done as well, obviously. So, and then we should have one field update. then we go for Chai.request server, and we do .put, and we do .send, and in here we should actually send something. So we'll do the ID, delete ID, and issue text, updated text. So, and then we'll do .end res, and in here we'll do an assert .equal of res.status 200, and we'll have an assert .equal of res.text should be successfully updated, and done. And if we have multiple fields, we should have a Chai.request server, and we'll put something to that. .send, and multiple fields means that we need to have like an ID, update ID, issue title, multiple updates text, and issue text, multiple updates. So, and update, no, status text, update issue. So, and let's see, we'll have done as well, obviously. No, wait, that's not. .end error res, and here we'll have a set of equal res.status should be 200. We should have a set of equal res.text successfully updated. So, and done. So, and two more tests. We should also be able to delete stuff. So, first of all, a no ID. So we'll go for Chai.request server as usual. We'll have a .delete that we'll sending to /API/issue/test, and that's gonna do this actually. .send. So I'm gonna copy this and put it down here. So we're sending an empty object because we're deleting no ID. And if we're trying to delete no ID, nothing's going to happen, hopefully. So we'll do an assert.equal with a res.status, that's 200, and an assert.equal with a res.text, that's no ID provided, and done. And we should also have one where we provide an ID, and obviously that's why we have stored this ID from the beginning. So we'll send this to delete, and we have in here we want to delete the delete ID. So, and .end res assert.equal res.status 200, and assert.equal res.text is deleted delete ID. So, and done. Alright. It says pray that not all of them fail. Yeah, so run the test. 1, 2. Oops, that's no good. There's a lot of tests that's failing. Okay, that's good. These fails are really nice to have, I think, because this is so easy to fix. So what's happened here is that I have a small letter here, but I want it to be capitalized. So that's gonna pass down. You have the same here, successfully updated. It should actually be like so. And we actually have more of those, it seems. Huh. That one as well, right? What about that one? That one seems bad. Can't read issue title of undefined. That's not good either. And that one's also one of these. Let's fix this first. So those. And as I said before, if these don't pass the way they should, we actually need to go and delete these manually. So because we're not deleting this in any way, we have to do that ourselves. So that too is a test. That's probably no one, right? So let's run these again. Shouldn't fail as many this time. That one fails. That's bad. Let's see. We have 8 passing, 3 failing. All the failing ones are GET requests. Wow. Let's see. Why are we getting that one? I actually realized that no, never mind. What we could do here is actually go ahead and get this post and have a manual try what's happening. So if we do this, this is what we're actually doing here. We're going to we're going to API issues, and there we want to go to something like that one. And okay, that's not good. All right, we don't have this running. Let's try this again. Okay, no issues for found. That should mean that this one is not right. Let's see. Okay, I have figured out what's going wrong, and I'd like to say it's something difficult and hard to fix, but it's not. I actually had a bit of issues when I wrote this code now, where I did this part differently than I did when I did this project from the beginning. So all of this is something that I rewrote on the fly because something didn't work, but it turns out it should be the first way anyway. So the way I wanted to do this is to write a type of here before each one of these statements and check if either of these are undefined. So essentially, if we just do this everywhere, preferably without the space before, oh well, never mind, like so, not on the last one, but on all of these, and then add this undefined on each of these places here. Then we should actually be able to run these tests, npm test, and we're gonna make most of the tests now, I think, yeah. So you can see here that we're passing 10 out of 11 tests now, up from 8 of 11. So that's good. What's going wrong then though? Well, I actually ran this before now and I had a look, and it turns out that the last test is not failing because of anything in this code at all. It's actually testing, not testing, failing, because this function is never finished. And I said this earlier in the video, but this is the thing with Chai that you need to remember. We're actually writing function done here. Whoops. Like that. So we're writing done here. We're passing in done. And when the test is finished, we actually need to call done. Like we've done on every other test here. So the reason this test is failing is because it's never finishing. And we can actually see that in the error message here. And it's timing out because this test is essentially a promise. And if we're never finishing it, the promise, or fulfilling it, then it's going to fail, which it's doing now. So if we just run the test again now, we should be passing every single test. And then we get an error message here, but this error message is actually from MongoDB. And I guess this is something we could fix, but yeah, that's not. I just want to point out one last thing then, and that's in here. I said this before as well, but okay. Right. Guess we're not doing that. Anyway, what I wanted to say is that every time we run these tests, they're gonna create an issue in our database because we're not removing it. And that's something to be aware of, that this test, specifically this one, is no, wait, that can't be it. It must be the post one. Yeah, whatever. One of the tests actually create an issue in the database for every time we run the test. So if you don't want the database to be cluttered with those tests, you need to go in and manually remove them, or write a delete test that just deletes that specific test. You could do that as well. You don't necessarily have to test anything then. You just have to, get the ID of that test somewhere and just delete it. But that's enough for this video. It's really long, even in 4 parts. This is really long, and yeah, that's because these projects are long. I said that in the introduction video as well, but these 5 projects in this section are a lot longer than any of the other projects in any of the other sections. See you in the next video. Bye!